Now Taiwan is the second place in the world that could trigger World War III. And, in contrast to the situation in Ukraine, the US will probably be involved in this conflict completely. Today many people write that if the Chinese want to occupy Taiwan, now is the right time. Moreover, military incidents with Chinese planes and warships flying in to the territory of the island have become more frequent. Then they make comments like, well, there was a mistake, but it happens. Speaking about the probability of invasion, first of all, we should remember that Taiwan is an island and the operation on its territory will be airborne, in close cooperation of land and sea forces. This is much more challenging than most operations involving mainland powers. A very important aspect is that the United States is a guarantor of the security of the Republic of China, as Taiwan officially calls itself. This is a point that both Republicans and Democrats fully agree with. This means that the possibility of the US joining the war does not depend on who is now in command in the White House. Once tightly anticipated, Trump introduced a series of reforms and upgraded, first of all, the tactical missile systems, the most powerful weapons after nuclear weapons. This includes the PRSM missiles, which are in many ways superior to the Russian Iskanders. They also have sea-based capabilities and have at least been successfully tested. The conversion to them is due to be completed in 2023. How many of them are available now is unknown. Obviously, China will need a large-scale naval landing operation, which the world has not seen since the Allied landings in Normandy in 1944. And most importantly, to suppress Taiwan's resistance forces before the Americans are ready to go to war. This is the task of ships with guided missile weapons and operational tactical complexes of the Dongfang 16 generation and above. Only in case of mass use of high-precision weapons by China, there is an answer: American bases with Patriot missiles. There are also plenty of medium-range systems that can also be relied upon against cruise and operational tactical missiles. It is impossible to talk seriously about hypersonic missiles from China that can penetrate air defenses. And do not forget that China simply does not have stealth technology aircraft, namely bombers that can overcome air defense. Although China is the only country in the world today that has strategic military drones that can take on this function. But their actual number is a big question. The real challenge is that the Taiwan invasion is a purely naval operation, more complicated, more expensive, and more vulnerable. If China fails in the first hours, it will at least take a long operational pause, if not lose. But what can be Plan B other than a new landing operation? Understanding the mentality of the Chinese, if they will act, means that the Chinese armed forces have prepared and rehearsed everything by 300%. Thus, the bottom line is that China has no real aircraft carriers and no modern strategic bombers. The operational tactical missiles in case of mass application would be effective even in conditions of dense air defense, but it would cost too many casualties to the civilian population, which the Chinese consider their own. Whether they are ready for this is a big question. Consequently, we should not expect an operation not only in 2022 but also in the next 5 years. China is not a country that is capable of engaging in military adventures.